Welcome back, guys. My name is Kay, and in this video we'll be doing if statements. So an if statements is a conditional statement, so you check something if it's true or not, right? So we will be doing an example on student marks. Suppose you are a lecturer and you want to enter a student mark and find out if the student has passed, has failed, or passed with a distinction or qualifies for a reassessment. So let's start. Let me just console.write, press any key to exit. Then you have our console.read key here, right? So the user will be prompted for an input. So you will start with console.write, press enter mark, right? And when a user enters a mark, we expect an input. We expect a number, so we'll be storing a number somewhere. So let's store it in a double. I'll call this dmark. Our variable name will be dmark is equals to console.readline. We have a problem here. So the console.readline is a string. It stores a string. Actually is a string. So we need a way to convert this string into a double. So the way we would do this is to pass the string this way. So we will have a console.readline. We convert it into a double. The syntax is double.pass. Then you open your brackets, whatever you put in the brackets will be console.readline. And the number here will be stored in our dmark variable. Of course, you can do this, but that's a long drive. But you can say string s mark is equals to console.readline. Then you would now need to have console double dmark is equals to double dot pass. Then you enter your smark variable there. So these two lines can be made into this one line. They basically do the same thing, just that this one is just shorter. So I'm just going to use my first one, right? So we have a dmark. We want to test if the dmark is, we are going to start with a fail. We want to check if the dmark is greater or equals to 0 but less than 40. So a less than 40 is a fail. So the way we write our if statement is if dmark is greater or equal to 0 and dmark is less than 40, then our user, we will write an output to the user, new line, student has failed. So anything equals to or greater than 0 but less than 40 is a fail. So let's test this. .NET run. I just open a console here. It's the same thing as open a console and integrated console there. So let me put the 2, the student has failed. Let me put a 39. The student has failed. But if I put a 40, we will not get an output back. We'll only receive a press any key to exit because we have not tested this output, this condition for anything above 40. So because we are in the same if, we will say if else if dmark is greater or equal to 40 and our dmark is less than 50. So our student would receive a reassessment. They qualify for a reassessment. So we'll write new line, student has a reassessment. Reassessment, right? I know my spelling is off. So anything above 40 but less than 50, anything above 39 in this case, because 40 is included in the reassessment. So anything above 39, so it would be anything greater or equal to 40 but less than 50, you get a reassessment. Now we want to check if a student has passed or not. So DMARC, if DMARC is greater or equals to 50, and also our DMARC is less than 75, then our student has passed. Student has passed. And the last one would be our distinction students. So else if DMARC is greater or equal to 75 and DMARC is less or equal to 100, then our student has passed. Console.write, new line, student has passed with a distinction. This is bothering me for some reason. Student has passed with a distinction, but anything else that does not fall within this category, this whole category, is invalid. So we'll write console.write invalid mark. So we need a mark that is greater or equal to 0 and less than 101. Here, less than 101. If I would have written this as less than 101, still correct. But let's use greater or equals to 0 to include the 100 also. So in this case, if whatever mark we entered here is greater or equal to 0, and also the DMARC is less than 40, then the student has failed the module. But if the mark is greater or equal to 40 but less than 50, then the student has a reassessment. Now if the mark is greater or equal to 50 and the mark is also less than 75, then the student has passed the module. But then if the student has greater or equal to 75 but less or equal to 100, then our student has passed with a distinction. Anything else is invalid, is an invalid mark. So let's test this. Let me put we tested the below 40, so let's put a 41, we get a reassessment. Let's put a 50, should have passed. Then let's put a 79, you should get a reassessment. Not a reassessment, a pass with distinction. And let's put just a random number, a 200. Let's say a student got 200, or the lecturer made a mistake. It should say invalid mark, right? So this is how you would use an if statement. You check a condition if it meets the criteria, right? And you notice that when we run our application here, it exits and then we have to go and start it again. Exits, we have to go and start it again. So in the next video we will be doing loops. I mean, in this case, press any key to exit, we press the key again, we have to go and run again the application. So in the next video we'll be doing loops. So with a loop we'll be doing an example whereby the user will be prompted, do you want to enter another mark? And then suppose we'll be using 1 or zeros, or Y and N and an N. So if a user wants to input another mark, they will enter a Y into the keyboard, into the terminal here. And if they want to stop and exit the program, they will press N, and then it will be captured. Then the application will prompt the user to press any key to exit. Then we exit our application. So yeah, stay tuned, and I hope this video helped you guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks.